So hi everyone, my name is Jalise. Let me just get myself set up here. Yes, I did. So right now, go live. Okay. Okay, I hope everything is all set. So I am starting now. Oh my God. I am on now. All right. Something I'm live all across the board. So hi guys, my name is Jalise, of course, and this is Infinite Modesty Design. Infinite Modesty Design. Infinite Modesty Design live across the board. Happy Thanksgiving for everyone, to everyone who's going to be watching me or probably watching the replay. That would be nice. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for those who are waving at me on Instagram. I appreciate you wave. My name is Jalise. This is Infinite Modesty Design. Sorry, guys. I actually say 10:30. I'm starting at 10:30 is when I was sending out the email. So I actually start 10:38 or something. So there you go. I'm grateful to be here. So thank you so much for those who um, will be joining me live. So who am I? We teach you how to sew. We are in Brampton, Ontario. 85 Charlotte Boulevard. We teach all different classes. Right now we have beginner classes. That's our starting point. We start with beginners class. We move on to intermediate class. If you want to do a skirt with pockets, that's one of our intermediate sessions. And then we move on to advanced sewing session itself. If you really, really love sewing and you want to dive into the heart of sewing itself, we are the person to contact. So I also want to say as well, as this is Thanksgiving today, we give God glory for allowing us to see another day. I also like to share the word of God with my fellow followers. Of course, this is Liberty, this is alive, so everyone have the option, of course, to um, listen and grasp and decide if it's for them or not. So Jesus Christ loves you. Jesus Christ loves every one of us. I'm a Christian by the grace of God, and you know the name Christianity could be like oh, she's a Christian. Everybody's Christian these days, but I'm telling you, I am a follower of Jesus Christ, and He died for the sins of mankind. And one thing I like to say, whether you're a Muslim, you're an atheist, you are just don't believe in nothing, there is a God, and everybody know there is a God. There have to be a God somewhere. So now you have the opportunity to ask, if there is a God, I want to know if this God is real. So God, if you are real out there, reveal yourself to me and trust me as a guarantee the real God will show up to you, whether in dream, whether in vision, I don't know, but a lot of people have testimony. I am one of them. I didn't know if Christ was real. I didn't grow up in a Christian home, but I asked if this God is real. I want to know Him, and He revealed Himself to me. So that's where my passion started. And by the grace of God, I am a Christian by His grace today. So thank you so much for those who are watching me on Facebook, and I see a comment coming in already. So hi, oh, Unique Creation, long time. Thank you so very much. So thank you again for those who are joining me on Instagram. I log on my phone on Instagram, so the light is so glare. So to see your name, sorry if I cannot call out your name. It's so much glare, but Facebook is very clear. I could actually see the post on Facebook and those who are watching me on YouTube. All right, guys. So lastly, I just want to bring a scripture. The Bible says in Hebrews chapter 9, verses 27, actually one of my favorite evangelism scripture. It says, it is appointed unto man once to die and then come to judgment. Everyone is going to die. We all know we are going to die. That's a guarantee. But the question is, judgment will come. The question is, how do we live our life to face judgment? That's pretty much what it is. Thank you so much, ladies. So yes, I definitely know my sweet Lisa there. Thank you for joining, Lisa. Thank you again for all those who are connecting with me live, live, live. All right, so it's Happy Thanksgiving today. Again, just to let everyone know that Jesus Christ loves you, and by the grace of God, I am here to do some sewing alteration. So for those who know me, I love to sew. Today's a holiday. So usually I have my 10:30 class today, so I decided to come on live. So I'm grateful to be here today. Hi Marcel, long time I haven't seen you. So what are we gonna be doing today? I have a lot of clothing to do for alteration. And the thing is, I never really have the time. That's the thing. So I just thought, you know what? I'm not gonna be sewing anything today. I'll be doing alteration. I have like this because the thing is, I lose quite a bit of weight by the grace of God, and I thank God for that because He's been giving me grace and strength to try to keep fit. So a lot of clothes is big for me, like really big for me to be honest with you. So I have to kind of bring them down, or zippers. Zippers is actually the number one. So I have a lot of zippers here to fix in my skirt. Like for instance, Okay, so this one is actually not the zipper. This one is actually just bring down the size because it's really big. So we'll see how we get to that one today. I have some zipper alteration, like for instance with this one here, my top. Um, I have to add a zipper, so I'll put in the zipper. Actually, you know what? I'm supposed to get my pins. Let me make sure I have my pins around. I'll put in the zipper because we're gonna pin it in. We're gonna pin it on, and then sew it down. It's alteration is not hard. The thing is, once you know how to sew, guys. Thank you so much for joining me on Instagram again. So once you know how to sew, guys, I'm like to tell people, somebody's coming for alteration and saying, "Oh, Chiliz, I just want to learn to do alteration." Well, the thing is, once you learn to understand the concept of sewing, understand your seam allowance, understand your hem allowance, you know, the basic of sewing, then alteration would actually just tie in very, very nicely. I can tell that as a guarantee. So I'm going to show you how to do zipper. Zipper is not hard. Yes, you do need to practice. I'm not going to say that just dive into zipper. You may need to do one or two practice with the zipper, and then or maybe three times, and then you would kind of master it. Some people do it on one time and then master it, but it's not hard. So I'm going to completely take this off. This going to pull out for me. All right. One thing I would say when you're taking out, when you're doing alteration, when you're taking out the zipper, for instance, don't just pull it out. It's always good. Hello, my lovely Angie. Thank you for joining me today, honey. It's always good to pull out the zipper gently so you don't bust the fabric itself. Because this morning I think I was pulling out a zipper because it's mine. I was just pulling and then the fabric tear a little. So just imagine you was doing that for a client, right? Definitely you don't want to put yourself in additional trouble, right, with the client. So yeah. All right, so I also have one in my bag. Um, I'll just actually gonna fix the strap. The zipper actually is done in the bag. I'm not gonna, I just like the bag because of the print itself. And then the strap get busted, so I'm just gonna figure out how I'm gonna figure out the strap itself. That's one of the alteration. The zipper itself is done. I'm not gonna bother stress myself with the zipper. I have again some skirts here that I have to do some zipper. So anyway, all the same, I have quite a bit of thing here to do alteration. We'll see how we get going today. Maybe I might spend half an hour, I don't know. We'll see how things take me. So thank you again for Marcel Creation and everyone else for joining me live today. It's Happy Thanksgiving in Canada today, and I'm so grateful to have you guys on board. Now, I would be asking some questions, of course. I have actually a question book here. Let's see if I get some simple questions that we could add. Yeah, some very, very simple question we could add. I'm going to show a first question here. This question could be different answers. Gathering require which use? So basically, this is some of the uses. A gathering require the use of what? One row of stitch, two row of stitch, or three row of stitch. So actually, I usually do it with this one, but then in sewing terms, it's actually do with this one. So whatever answer you think it is, just drop it in the comment and then we'll check it out after. So gather and require, when you know when you're gathering your skirt, if you're doing it by needle and thread specifically, tell me how much row you would need. If you're doing by machine, because it's a technically do by machine, tell me how much row you think you need for gathering. All right, guys, so let's get started here. Let me just grab my pins, because I like to get my pins, and then we would start to do some alteration. I should have that actually beforehand, though. This is really, really bad of me not to have it beforehand, but I got it instantly. Okay. So always remember when you're getting ready to sew, actually have it on a sponge. So you could actually make a nice little print for your sponge, your dishwashing sponge here. But I have some pins. So what we're gonna start with first, guys, I am gonna start with alteration on my skirt here. So this is one of my nursing skirt actually. So for those who don't know me, I wear only skirts. So this is one of my skirt I made for my nursing. So I'm just gonna see if the zipper here, what you can see nicely. And also I am on I don't know if anybody had actually wanted to join me there on Google Meet, but actually the screen got right in front of me. So if you're on Google waiting for me, I'm so sorry I didn't check it out. Okay, so we are gonna put a zipper here. So first you wanna see if the zipper it fits the garment itself. So this one, I think I could use a longer zipper. Let me see if I get a longer one to put here. If not, I'm just gonna use this one. But a longer one might be a little bit better because it might have a little extra on the top, which I don't want to put a hook and eye or anything. So I'm gonna probably get a zipper here. Some of the zipper is not that good. Like when you try to put the zipper in, like some of the zipper here, they could be very, very cheap. So like it busts easily. This one I'm not happy with it, but because of this live, I'm gonna just actually put this zipper here. It's a light color. So what I'm gonna do with the alteration here, guys, I'm gonna just pin this in, right? So this, I'm gonna pin it in nicely, and we are going to we're gonna sew it on. So I make it longer. Eventually I will be cutting out the tail because I don't have any one that is, the one that is short is, that space is a little bit too long. So that means I would have some extra hooks and eye in the top. So I don't think I want to do that. So I just want to cover it from the very edge. So this is what I'm gonna do here. Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining me on Instagram. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate your comment. So I think I had a question here. If you're doing a raw stitch, what was the question again? Gathering require the use of one raw stitch, two raw stitch, or three raw stitch. Now there could be more than one answer here, but just explain. Let's say, okay, if I'm doing a gathering a skirt with a needle and thread, how many rows of stitch do I need? If I'm doing gathering with a sewing machine, probably you might need a little bit more, hint, hint. So how many rows of stitch I might need? That's pretty much what it is. So I'm just gonna pin this down here. Gonna pin this down here. Usually, if you're doing alteration with zipper for the first time, I would suggest that you pin the zipper down. So I'm gonna pin the zipper down here, and I would also suggest that you what am I saying? Trying to say needle and thread. So you do needle and thread, and you could just baste it down. So that's what I teach sometimes for my beginners. If you're doing alteration for the very first time, if you really want to just do needle and thread nicely. Um, but again, I'm gonna pin it down. I'm gonna show you guys. So I take the zipper off first, and then I'm gonna pin this down. I'm gonna show everyone what I've done here. All right. So how is everyone spending your Thanksgiving? I think it's Thanksgiving today. I mean, it is Thanksgiving. I don't think it is Thanksgiving today. So how are you spending your Thanksgiving? Are we cooking turkey today? Are we doing this? What are we doing today? If anyone wants to leave a nice comment. So Marcel, are you still in are you living in England now? If you live, let me know if you're living in England currently. Thank you so much. And also you could kindly share the live. We do teach sewing classes in Brampton, Ontario. That is 85 Charlotte Boulevard. If you want to learn to sew, we start with the basic, guys. Some people just come and say, what, I want to go advanced. No problem. There's no problem at all. Many of my advanced students start with haven't done anything on the sewing machine before, and now they go up to different levels. So it's always good to start with the basic. Don't just, okay, I want to make clothes. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, you're gonna get to that. There's no worries there. You'll definitely get to making clothes once you're in my class. But again, you must start from the basic, which threading the machine, running the bobbin. Because once you're in the advanced class, I don't teach threading machine and running the bobbin. You're supposed to know that, of course. Now we just get to drafting patterns or making clothes to fit your garment. Oh, you're back in Grenada. How sweet. I didn't know. I thought you was there still. That's nice. You know what? I was in so that means when I was in Grenada, Marcel, that means you was in England. So that's why I didn't see you. Or I think I had messaged you, right? And you told me it was in England. So, because I was in Grenada for August. I spent like 3 weeks in Grenada, but I was in St. Patrick's. Yeah, and it would have been nice to see you. But I remember you said it was not home. So there you go. I guess by the grace of God, we should be traveling again. I don't know when, but I will love to meet you, my darling. We could always connect. All right, good stuff. So I'm gonna try to pull this up. So anyone is answering the question? If you're doing gathering, how many rows of stitches you need for a gathering needle or gathering sewing machine? So I'm gonna show this individually here. So this is how I have it here. For those who on YouTube, I'm gonna show you here. So I just pin it down like this, right? So I pin it down nicely, right? And this is just a center zipper. So you might say, why am I seeing a zipper? It's not an invisible zipper. It's only a center zipper, right? And the thing is, I wanna wear my skirt. You know, sometimes I work anytime. They call me whatever, and I don't have a zipper in my skirt, so I don't fix a zipper in. So let me see if my machine working actually. When I started, I didn't even know if it was working. There you go, it's working. All right. So my first alteration project, we are gonna start it today. All right. How long did you stay in England, my love? Did you stay a while? Out, and was it cold there when you went there, or I don't think it was cold. It was summer, right? I think so. I don't know. I never been to England, so I don't know. Lisa have been to England. If Lisa is lying, Lisa could tell me more about England. But that was nice anyway. We went there. Um, how was the trip? Was the trip How was the trip, my darling? Okay. So sorry, guys. I'm trying to get things going. It's a calm, beautiful day today. It's kind of sunny. So those who could see me, I see the sun is glowing on my face. But again, it's a beautiful day today. All right. So let me just move things down here. Live zipper alteration. Let me see if this is gonna come here. Gonna come. We could see. Closely. This is my YouTube one here. Just want to put it closely. If you could see this. All right. So I am going to be sewing this down nicely, and you're going to take out your pin as you sew. Okay. So what I'm doing here is just basically I have pins in the fabric, yes. But for those who doing zip alteration for the first time or trying zipper, I would always say try it out, test it out itself, and you would pin your fabric, and you could always take a needle and thread and baste it down because it could be hard taking out the pin and sewing, right? But for me, of course, I just put my pins in. I could even sew a zipper without the pin, of course. Like all those things come with experience in sewing, right? But because of the life, I just want to make sure that you kind of grasp it. Hopefully, everyone can see what I'm doing here. So as I sew, I come close enough, and then I take out the pin, like very, very close enough, and then I decide to take out the pin. All right, so close enough, I take out my pin. You could gently, but the thing is, I would always advise not to sew over the pins, because again, you just don't know when things gonna break and scatter. You definitely don't want that. But so here I'm coming close enough is good enough. Or I could say when you come close enough, you could always walk. Walk is using your hand wheel and nicely sewing it down there. Okay, there you go. All right, so let me just take this off. So no one can answer the question. If you're doing a row of stitch, if you're doing a gathering stitch, do you need one row of stitch, two row of stitch, or three row of stitch? I would say there's more than one answer. Like for instance, if you're doing a gathering with needle and thread, how many rows of stitch would you need to gather your skirt in, right? Or to gather your whatever in. Usually I make gather with skirt anyway, so I would say skirt. So now I'm just pivoting and turn here now. You may not be able to see that clear. But when I pivot, I turn, I go across, right? So I go fully across here. And then what I will do, I will walk, because I'm coming over the bottom of the zipper now. Sometimes there's metal there, and I'm just crossing my intersection. So that as I cross my intersection, I'll just walk nicely. Then again, I turn to come up. Make sure, I don't think I have enough turn here. Just come one more probably. Okay. And then I turn to come up, and I'm going to continue here. Okay. So that's what I'm going to do here. So now as I'm coming up now, I'm going to bring my zipper head up, because you have to move the zipper head, especially when you add the presser foot. And I'm going to come up here. All right, and I'm going to take my zipper out. Take my pins out as I go. So I'll have it nice and tailored. So the edge of my presser foot is going to be at the fold, and I'm going to be coming up like this. So I no longer have, I don't think I have the Google Meet again, because it's, actually I'll stay on, but I wouldn't be able to focus on it right now. So I'm just going to leave it. If anyone is joining me live itself, that would be great. Okay, so now I'm going to come up nicely. All right. Another thing is to make sure that your seams match. Your seams match nicely, especially when you make sure your waistband and your waistband match nicely the back of the zipper, because you want to make sure that your sewing is nice and clean, right? Yeah. So I'm not sure if mine's gonna match right now. I didn't check, but I'm pretty sure it matched before, so I'll leave that for now. And I'm not gonna focus on it too much right now. But my let me bring this back a bit. So my zipper alteration is done for one of my skirts. I'm pretty sure I have to bring in the, so you see what I'm saying here, the matching. It was matching before anyway. I'm not sure if it's 100% right now, but you get this part must always match nicely. That shows you actually you have professional sewing, right? Very, very important. All right, so this is one done. So done. The next thing I may have to do now is some alteration for the sides, because the waist might be very big for me, but I'll probably do that after. That one is easier to do. The next one I'm going to do now, guys, is I'm gonna do my bag. So this is my bag here. All right, so I'm getting some answers, so nice. All right, so if you're using a machine, two stitch rows for stitching, fantastic. 2 to 3, okay, 2 to 3 is fine, but I would take two. I would definitely say two. Two is, and then needle is one, awesome. So machine is 2 or 3, so two would be fine, wonderful, and hand sew it is one. Yes, when you are gathering your garment, awesome. Thank you so much for that. So yes, so I got some answers on Facebook. So thank you guys so much. Sorry if I didn't pay attention for those on Instagram. Hello, my lovely Hillary. Thank you so much for joining me, my love. If anyone is on Instagram and you want to join me live, you could definitely request to join me live. There's no worries here. I could definitely join me live. So hello everyone. All right. So the question I asked actually, and I got the answers. Is if you're doing gathering and you're doing one row of stitch with your needle and thread, you need one row of stitch with needle and thread, right? But if you're doing machine, it's always good to have 2 rows of stitch. So you get a nice professional gathered tailor stitch there. I mean, if you want to do 3 rows, you know, that's just more added work. You could do 3 rows, but the standard answer is 2 rows of stitch with machine, and needle and thread, of course, is one. So kudos to you guys. Thank you so much for answering the question there. I'm so very grateful. Again, if anyone is on Instagram and you want to join me live, you're more than welcome to join me live. I'm so very grateful for that. All right, so I think I asked this question before in my live already. What is the purpose of understitching? So the purpose of understitching, is it to keep the facing turn on the underside of the garment? It form a line which to turn under the hem. It keep the outside edge of the facing from raveling. So that's the 3 questions. Sorry, that's the 3 answers. What is the purpose of the understitching? Is it one, to keep the facing turned on the underside? So think about that, facing underside. To form a line on which to turn under the hem, or to keep the outside edge of the facing from raveling? That's a nice, beautiful question there. So I will ask the question again as I go along. So if those who know what is the purpose of facing, you could just hail out the answer, no worries. Thank you so much for those who are joining me on YouTube. I'm very grateful for you joining me today. All right, so I'm gonna just do alteration on my bag, guys. So this is my bag strap. It's done here. The reason why I like this bag, I like the prints. It's such a fabulous print. And you know what? I just think I could still wear it. The zipper is not working. I'm not gonna bother even stress because the zipper I have to take out the whole, go back in the bag, take out the top stitch. I don't have time for that. I could actually wear it just as an open bag. That's perfectly fine. Or I could even put a button if I want here, and that's fine. But the only thing now is the strap. So this strap is okay. This one I have to fix actually. I'm gonna actually fix it now on the live. And this one I'm gonna fix as well. So it doesn't have to be complicated. I am not gonna take out anything. You could take out, like for instance, if you're doing it for a client, you maybe wanna take out this and fix all this. I don't have time for that. I am just gonna bend the straps, and actually I'm gonna do, so what I'm gonna do here to make things just very simple for me, I'm gonna bend the strap like this, so bend it down like this. So this is the strap here. I'm gonna put it right side touching the right side, and I'm gonna fold it back up like this. So you could just have, it will just be nice and clean like this, right? So you see, this is the tog right here. So this is the mess right here, right? So what I'm gonna do here is I am gonna take my strap. So my strap's here. So this is the other side. I'm gonna take this here, and I'm just gonna bend it down like this. So eventually the strap gonna be short. I would have to alter the other sides as well, right? So I'm gonna just put it like this here, right? Put it like this here, and then I'm gonna fold it back like this. So I'm gonna be using like a good I think it's 3 inches. About 3 inches fold itself. So I'm gonna nicely toggle it like this, okay? And I will sew it down. So it will be very, very thick. So I'll see if I can sew it without pinning. Um, yeah, I'll sew it without pinning. So I'll just do the first top here first. I'm gonna bring my thing down. Hopefully you guys can see me here nicely. All right, so I think I have some comments on YouTube. So good morning, Jaleese. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you. I'm so grateful for you joining me on YouTube. Don't mind me putting my head in the camera. because the light is so clear on that side. But thank you so much. All right, guys. So now what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be just sewing this down here, right? You see how it was sort of a mess before? I'm going to sew it down here. And I'm going to continue. So I'm going to sew it down here nicely. You could trim out whatever, you know, if you want, but I'm going to sew it down right here. I'm going to, I hope you could see. All right, so just hope my, so I'm sewing it down nicely here. My back stitch nicely. So what is the purpose of the understitch in sewing, guys? In your facing, what is the purpose of the understitch? When you have your garment, so for those who take my advanced class, you understand what is understitching. What is the purpose of the understitching? Everything we do in sewing, there is a purpose, right? You take out the zipper, you alter the zipper. Well, there's a purpose. You have to fix the zipper because your skirt needs a zipper, your pants, whatever, need a zipper, right? That's the purpose. You gotta remove it. So you see what I did here now, as I fold it up nicely here, guys, right? So this is here. So now I'm going to bring this down here, and I'm going to sew it down here again. So my strap will be short, so that I'm going to have to alter the other side of the strap as well, right? All right. So this is just like a quick fix. I'm not going to be pulling out anything. So now I'm going to sew this side down, all right? And I'm going to lift up my presser foot high enough. So what is the purpose of the understitch? So the purpose of the understitch, so it says here to keep the facing turned to the underside or the inside of the garment, to keep the facing on the inside of the garment. That's one of the answers. To form a line on which to turn under the hem, or to keep the outside edge of your facing from raveling. So that's our three gorgeous option here. So this could be very heavy. Let's hope the thread does not come out on me. Okay, I think I'm gonna just stay with this. Oh no, I didn't bring my thing down. Oh, I didn't bring my presser foot down. Okay, which you always have to bring your presser foot down because I have two presser foot, one in the bottom here and one in the top here. So I get confused with one of them. Okay, actually it's still going though because that one was enough to keep it down. All right, so this is what we do here. So you see, I just clean this out nicely here, right? Clean this out nicely here. And I would come back. So what I could do also, guys, I could do the sides here and the sides to make everything sealed down nicely, which of course I would do. I'm just gonna do the sides here. Bring my thing higher up here. Make sure it's down, good. So I don't get confused. This one is down too, good. So now I'm gonna just sew the sides here, right? So everything just sealed nicely. And then if your bag, like for instance with me now, let me see, there's the side of the bag here. It's a little bit, again, this is mine, so I'm not too worried about, taking out the old pieces and put back the new pieces. Sorry, to take out the old, like, you remember under was a little bit, there was a little bit, like a tear. Yeah, I'm not worried because it's my bag, right? And again, if you just want to clean it out, once you cover it for your client's bag or yourself, it's all be fine. It'll be fine. So I'm just going to do the other side, and then I'm going to shorten the strap on the other side because of course it's going to be significantly short, right? One side going to be short and one side going to be long. So again, I'm just sewing this side down here and to make everything neat and nice, and then I will do the other side, and then my bag is ready to use. Because of the beautiful color, I don't want to carry this bag. At least not right now, right? Not right now. Okay. All right, good. So this is done. I'll take time to trim out my thing later on because it does take time. Okay. All right, so thank you guys so much for joining me. For those who joined me on Instagram, sorry I was too busy sewing to kind of say hi. So hi to everyone. Okay, good stuff. Fantastic. All right, so happy Thanksgiving to you, dear. Appreciate it. So understitching, does anyone know what is the meaning of the understitching? What is the purpose of the understitching? Understitching? No? Yes? Maybe? Understitching, Marcel? If you're still watching me live, I don't know. Do you know what is the purpose of the understitching? Guys, if you're watching me live and you could kindly share, that would be great. It would help me out big time. If you could share the live, that would be fantastic. Okay, so this side I may have to do after. But I see this strap now, it's It's short now, right? See? So this, I'm just gonna measure this side, and I'm gonna just do alteration on the other side. So from here, I'm just measuring it down. So measure, 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 measure. So 24, and I am going to make sure I could get 24 out of this side as well. So because this side have a messed up as well, I'm gonna actually bring it down here and make sure it measure nicely at 24. So it's important. So I'm gonna come here, 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 here. Okay, so it's a big gap. Actually, it's a very, very big gap. So what I'll do, I'll cut it out. I'll just cut the strap out because I have to measure it to the other side to make sure that it's, that when I'm walking with my bag, I don't look funny, right? One up and one down. Just gonna measure it together anyway. It's not a big deal. Okay. So here is my measurement, and then I'm gonna put extra because I want to fold it in, right? There you go. Okay. Get rid of this, and I'll put it right here. Okay. So now I'm gonna just fold my bag down, and I should be fine. I think it's right here, right? Yeah, right here, and I'm good. So it might not be the same looking alteration, but the goal is that I could wear my bag with the strap. That's the actual goal. So I've just pinned it down here. So I do alteration. I cut it out, right, as you can see here. And now I'm gonna just pin it down nicely. I do alteration here. So alteration doesn't have to be, well, I'm hemming. The alteration could be so many different things, as we know, right? Because clothing is clothing. Um, it's just a matter of you just have to have an idea of how to fix it. And the thing is, once you know how to sew, it's not easy to manipulate clothing. It's very, very easy because you know what you're doing, right? I mean, some style may be very, very hard, guys. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say that everything is a walk and park. But again, nothing, I say nothing try, nothing done. At least you gotta try, right? So there you go. So this is very simple. This is actually not gonna come out professional, but I'm all good with that. I'm the one that way in the back. I made it, so it doesn't really matter anyway. I made it perfectly fine, and then it started messing up on me. That's all good. It's all good. So now I just want to fix it because I love the prints, and I'm not ready to get rid of this bag as yet. So I'm just going all the way around with the stitching. The stitching is not professional, guys, to be honest with you. I'm just trying to manage and just sew it and finish it. Good. Oh, my foot gets really heavy. What happened? Okay, all done with my alteration for my bag. So alteration does take time, and the thing is, I don't do alteration at all. People ask me all the time, call me, message me, blah, 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 all the time. I don't do alteration at all. I don't have time for alteration. I'm not gonna lie to tell you. Because it's a lot of work, and when you put in so much work and say, oh, it's just you're just changing the zipper, why do you have to charge so much? Charge, because it's a lot of work. It takes a lot of time, right? And you definitely don't wanna be, let's see, I have my bag backing. I'm back in business with my bag, guys. I am back in business with my beautiful tote bag. I was a little bit off when the thing go because I really like the color. So my bag is back in business, and I'm very happy. Okay, good. All right. So anyone? I don't think anyone could answer the question with the facing. Okay. So when you're doing a facing, guys, because I know it's more like an advanced class. Facing could be. Let me see if I have anything that had a facing. If I don't, okay, I don't have facing, but I have lining. So I do the same thing for lining. All right. So this is my garment here, right? A facing would be like just half of this, not half, sorry, like let's say about 3 or 4 inches of this. All depends with the seam allowance. So when you have facing in your garment, you sew the facing on the outside. You put right side to right side. You sew the facing nicely, and then you do your understitching. This asks for understitch or top stitch. So understitching, yes. So understitching, not top stitch. So understitching, you put your understitching. Like for instance, I have this understitch. So this is this is my stitch under here, right? It's to keep the lining on the inside of the garment. Okay. So that's pretty much what's the reason for your understitch in your garment. So it's the same thing. This is lining because my whole garment here is lined, right? So the facing would be just a little piece, and then you will see the inside of the garment, but you will just see another piece come here. I don't have anything right now with facing, but for lining now, when you do the lining, you want to make sure that you keep, I have my book here. So the purpose of understitching is to keep the facing turn on the underside. They say underside, but it's inside of the garment. So that's the reason for doing your understitch in your facing itself. Okay. All right. I don't want to ask it too much. Which of the following garment area must be understitched? So that's another question with understitching. Maybe I'll just skip that one. That might be a little bit too hard. Which of the following area of the garment there is no easing? So again, that's a little bit too hard. That's more in my advanced class. I teach easing here. So seam allowance. What is the average seam allowance in garment? It could be more than one answer. 1 inch, half an inch, 3/4 of an inch, 5/8 of an inch. What is the most seam allowance you see in pattern? I'm looking for one answer. So when you buy your pattern envelope, usually you have they will say, okay, you have to do this amount of seam allowance for the most part, right? You could do any amount of seam allowance you want. Like for those who take my sewing class, sometimes we do 1 inch, sometimes we do half an inch, sometimes we do whatever. So I'm just asking, throwing question out there. Sometimes again, I let you practice on different, maybe 2 inch, maybe if you want to do a zipper allowance, all that is part of allowance. So if you have a sewing pattern, what is like the standard for the sewing pattern? If you guys familiar with sewing pattern, what is the standard seam allowance? Seam allowance for your sewing pattern. If anyone can answer that question, that would be fabulous. Okay, so I now have to retread my machine here. Alteration does take a lot of time. Again, we teach sewing classes in Brampton, guys. So for those who joining me live, kindly share this live if you wish. That would be great. It actually help me out with my business. Also, I want to say as well, what the t-shirt I'm wearing, actually always wanted to talk about the t-shirts I'm wearing. I usually wear a t-shirt that's an Infinite Modesty design. One of my students, actually 2 of them, husband and wife. The first one is Angela. She was my first student, and then her husband come on board, and he have been with me almost a year now, because Lisa have been with me for almost a year, October. Yeah, almost a year I think he have been with me. Learning from beginners to this, to that. Now he's in the advanced class. So they do also printing. So here, when I went to Carriacou, because my country was, my little island, sorry, was not a country, my little island, was messed up a bit with the hurricane. So I wanted to kind of present a little bit of hope for me and my children when we went to visit there over the summer. So I had Carriacou for Jesus, and they actually print this t-shirt for me. I'm a Christian by the grace of God, for those who know and those who don't know. So I would always promote the Lord Jesus Christ. Their print is for me, and this is the island of Carriacou. It was badly damaged, like wickedly damaged. Pretty much everything was destroyed. It was so bad. Like right now, the people are still, I'm still connecting donation. For those who, even yesterday, someone gave me some donation monetary, and I'll send it to someone. I'll send it personally to individual itself, then send it to a big organization. That's what I'm going to do. So Carriacou for Jesus. But what I want to say here is Angela, she's the one who printed this t-shirt, and it's a fantastic t-shirt, and we definitely going to be hearing more of her. It's STS, I believe, Appeal. Maybe one day we'll have her on, and then she could always talk about her t-shirt printing. And I know we always want a pair of t-shirt, right? So I have all my Infinite Modesty Design t-shirt printed by her, and yeah. All right, so happy Thanksgiving. Yes, so Marsha say half an inch seam allowance. Okay. All right, so any other answer you want to give, or any want to answer anyone else want to give? Half an inch seam allowance, she said. So remember, standard for pattern, for your sewing pattern. So what I'm going to do here, guys, now, I have my top here. Did I take off the zipper? I think I did. Yeah, so I'm just going to actually re-add a zipper in it. This one is very easy. It's very, very long, but it's very easy. So this is my long, nice zipper here. The only thing with this zipper, it might be cool on my back. Let's say I'm in winter and I'm going out, I have to wear a vest because this is cold. Yeah, that's the only thing here. So again, thank you for those joining with me on YouTube. I'm so grateful that you're joining me today. Thank you for those who join me on Facebook. So 1 inch, sorry, half an inch, Marcel said. Anyone have any other answer to that? So for pattern itself, if you are using your pattern itself, what is your standard seam allowance for your pattern itself? All right, just pattern. You could have any amount of seam allowance you want in your clothes, to be honest with you. Depends on what you're doing, of course, right? You can have extra seam allowance in case you get big, in case, you know, blah, 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 whatever. I am not like that. If you, oh, you have to have this, I'm not like that. I'm not strict. I'm not too strict when it comes to, you must have this and you must have that. But I will tell you what I want in my class, and I always let my students know you are flexible to actually, when you're doing your own stuff, you could add more just to make sure if you have to let go the garment, whatever, if you think you're going to gain weight, blah, 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 whatever the case may be. So I'm not a strict teacher, but again, I'm a very precise, very precise. I'll let you know the truth, but I'll also let you know your option that, you know, you don't have to be so strict if you don't want to. There you go. Okay, dokes. So, what is our standard seam allowance for your sewing pattern? So, I know many of us use sewing pattern, so half an inch. Lisa said half an inch. Marcel said half an inch. So, sewing pattern, guys. So, think about it. Sewing pattern. If you have a pattern, you can actually look over your pattern. But for standard seam allowance for half an inch, sorry, for your sewing pattern. So, what I'm doing here, guys, I'm just fitting in my zipper here on my thingy. Actually, no, I'm supposed to do something else though. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna just put the whole zipper for the. You could like you could close the bottom of this and then put your zipper, but I think my zipper is long enough. I'll just kind of bring it down to the very bottom, and then I'll just do alteration if I need to for the zipper. Yeah, I think it's long enough, and it'll be fine. Yeah. So my whole back gonna just be zipper up, zipper down, done. And then the zipper I think is detached, so even fantastic. Yeah, it's detached zipper, so it's good. All right. So half an inch, lady said. Um, Lisa said, and then Marsha said half an inch. So half an inch, yes, is, but for the pattern envelope, usually they say 5/8 of an inch for the pattern envelope. When I'm teaching my class, yes, because when we adjust in the pattern, and Lisa, you're right, it's half an inch. When we adjust in the pattern, because I take out so many, because the pattern envelope, there's so many ease in the pattern. I know when we started to sew the intermediate, I think we did do a pattern, right? Did we? Yes, you did make a dress in the pattern, don't mind me. So I did make you do half an inch seam allowance, I believe. I can't remember now. But standard seam allowance in your pattern envelope is 5/8 of an inch. Um, I'm not saying that half an inch is not there, yes. But usually when you're looking at a pattern envelope, usually they have 5/8 of an inch, 5/8 of an inch, 5/8 of an inch. And then I would make the adjustment, and then because I would just adjust, do alteration on the pattern envelope to make sure it fits your bust measurement, and then I would say let's do half an inch itself. Okay, that's what usually I would do. Usually what I do if you're doing things for the pattern, I'll just let you stick with the standard half an inch in some cases. But for the pattern envelope, usually it's 5/8 of an inch in definite. And if you see half an inch, there's no big deal. This time half an inch as well. But for standard, it's 5/8. At least from what I've been seeing thus far. All right, ta-ta, clap, clap. Thank you so much for answering the question. I appreciate it. So what I'm doing here, I'm just doing alteration now on my top. I have the skirt there just waiting for me. And of course, I have to do additional alteration, like bringing the top in because it might be a little bit too big. But for now, I'm just going to add the zipper. Once I add the zipper, shrinking it down to size is nothing. I could always do that anytime. So I've just pinned the one side of the zipper down here nicely, guys. So just pin it down nicely. I'll see what else I have to do though besides zipper. I don't know if I think maybe I'll do a take in for the next one because I think that this is my second zipper, right? So yeah. So this is the zipper. So this one is a different zipper. The first one I did it was with my skirt. This one is with my my top itself. Yeah. So Gurus, thank you so much for those who answered the question. It said for the alteration, did you alter the side or only from the back? So I didn't do any sides yet, Lisa. It's only my the only thing I'm doing here right now is just putting zipper because my zipper had broke. I have a lot of clothes that have the zipper broke, and I never really have time to sit down and do it, to be honest with you. So I didn't do any alterations from the side as yet. I may do one of my skirt on the side based on my waist measurement. Maybe that's the next thing. But now I'm doing a different type of zipper here now. This one I have to do alteration, but I'm not going to do it live. I'm going to actually probably do it after, whatever. Because I have to fit it on and see how much I have to take in, blah, 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 whatever. But for the skirt, I'll do that next. So this one, I'm just doing a detached zipper. So what is a detached zipper? It can come out, right? So if you have a zipper like that and it come out, no fear. You could take it out. You could put it back on, all right? So I'm going to take it and I'm gonna do the other side. I'm just going to do alteration on the other side here. I'm just going to put it on the other side, pin it down nicely, and then I'm going to zip it back to make sure everything fits nicely, and then I am going to sew it down. So 1, 2, 3, easy, easy peasy. Again, if you're doing zipper for the first time, I'll always say that you want to do, let's put this, see what I'm doing. You always want to do, put the zipper, and then you put, You do basting if you're doing it for the first time, or if you're still not, you're not 100% with zipper. When in doubt, just do basting. Put your pin and then baste it down nicely, and take your time and sew it down. Just take your time. The only thing with zipper now, you have to move the head of the zipper. Well, my machine, the Zuki machine, I don't require to do that because it's like very the the um the pressure foot is very thin. But if you're using my domestic sewing machine now, the pressure foot is a little bit big, so you may have to adjust the head of the zipper itself. Yeah, the domestic machine makes things a little bit easier for us. That's the thing. It's fast and it makes life way easier compared to the industrial machine. Sorry, it makes things easier itself. Okay, so let me look for another question. So hi, thank you so much for joining me. For those who are joining me on live, kindly share the live if you in a position to share the live. That would be so grateful. We teach sewing classes in Brampton. I know someone had mentioned for me to do like sew along or something. Someone had mentioned in the group. Yes, I'm trying to get back on that. It does take time because I work as a nurse and I also teach sewing classes on Mondays and Fridays. So the other days now I have to try to figure out my timing itself. So we'll see how we can get back live because I love lives. I've been doing lives. That's why I met a lot of my students doing live. So I'm just looking for another question here before I go along here. So let me see if I get an easy question. So when take no, let's see. I'm just seeing if I get an easy question here. There's a lot of questions here. Um, the lengthwise grain of the fabric. All right, so no, not everybody might know that one. So which part of the fabric give maximum stretch? Is it the lengthwise, crosswise, or bias? So even though you may not know what lengthwise or crosswise, maybe you actually hear the term bias. Which part of your fabric give maximum stretch? Think about it. Maximum stretch. Make a guess if you don't know. That's all good. Maximum stretch. Which part of if your fabric, you bought a 6 yard of fabric and it's woven fabric, for instance, it's not stretch fabric. What part of the fabric give maximum stretch? Maximum stretch. Maximum stretch. So let's say you have a nice, African print fabric, for instance, right? And you want to use that fabric or for something stretchy. What part of your fabric or what layer can you put your fabric? Because you would say lengthwise, crosswise, or bias. Which one would you get maximum stretch? Length. That's the answer I'm looking for. Either lengthwise, crosswise, or bias. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, so I pinned this down nicely. I'm gonna do probably one more alteration actually. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna attach back the zipper here. I'll attach the zipper nicely here. And I'm gonna bring this up nicely. Okay, come up nicely for me. Don't give me no headache now. Okay, what happened? So this detached zipper, there's nothing wrong actually. Just need to pull it up. Okay, there you go. So I'm gonna pull it up nicely. Okay, so this is my zipper here. So I'm gonna, of course, go and sew it down nicely. All right, so I'm just showing you how it is. So this top gonna be just zipper. It wouldn't have any hem allowance. Sorry, any allowances. Not any allowances, guys. You won't have any closure. The zipper gonna be full closure. That's my point. What I'm trying to say. Like for example, when you guys making the skirt, for instance, when my student making the skirt, I'll say, okay, let's measure down 8 inches for the skirt here, right? And then we're gonna close up this with a big seam allowance, maybe 1.5 to 2 inch seam allowance. In this case, we don't have any additional seam allowance than the zipper allowance itself, and the zipper gonna be the opening and the closure itself for your piece here. All right. So Lisa say bias. All right. So Marcel say crosswise. Wonderful. So I'm still waiting for more answers. So what part of your fabric give maximum stretch? So maximum stretch. Basically, you have a nice print and you want to make something that is stretchy, even though you have a print. What part of your fabric give maximum stretch? So I give 2 answers here. So for those who joining me live, thank you so much for joining me. For those who join in the replay, thank you again for watching me. Kindly share. Even you could also say where you're connecting with me from, and what are you doing today for Thanksgiving, if you're doing anything specific. For me, actually, we had Thanksgiving yesterday in the church, by the grace of God, and it was fantastic. We had a wonderful time in the presence of the Lord, and that was my Thanksgiving. Today, I don't know if my husband's going to cook. If he's not going to cook, I'll figure something out. That's how it's go. because he's gonna cook African food, and he's an African man, so he's gonna cook African food today. So that was our agreement. So we'll see what happened today. All right, so let me go ahead and because my kids just want to go out. I told them after I do my live, I'm gonna take them maybe in the park somewhere. So I have to fulfill my desire. I have to fulfill my promise. So I'll see how we're gonna get this going today. All right, so I am going to now. So one more question that I have, guys. What part of your fabric give maximum stress? Crosswise grain, lengthwise grain, bias grain. So I get one answer crosswise grain. I get another answer bias grain. Anyone else want to give it a try? What part of your fabric, hint, hint, give maximum stretch? All right, so let's go. So again, as I'm sewing, guys, I'm just making sure that the edge of my fabric, the edge of my presser foot is well, basically, yes, I have it to the edge of the zipper or the edge of the fold. That's fine as well. So I'm going to just do this nicely. Guys, you know how long I have to do this alteration, so I'm so grateful that I get the time today. Today was supposed to be my day for teaching sewing classes, and it's a holiday, so I take the time to just do all of the alteration. Because when I finish the live, I'm going to continue doing my alteration here. All right, so what part of your fabric is maximum stretch? So now, alteration again is not hard, but it could be hard if you're doing it for someone else. You know, like for instance, I take off the zipper, right? Before my live, I took off the zipper, right? You may have to take off the zipper, clean out the fabric, then put it back. Some people may say it's just easy to get the zipper, it's just $5. Listen, something, $5 is not enough because sometimes you spend 30 minutes to take this off, or even 45 minutes, depends on where the zipper is. And to take $5, you are joking. You have to be charging money itself if you want to do alteration. I do not do alteration, period. I teach you how to sew from ground zero to hero. And of course, in the line of that, you would learn how to do alteration. It's a win-win for everyone. All right, so now I come over my bank here. If anyone can see that well. On this side. Maybe the other time I also sew this zip on the other side. Just because I'm right-handed, I'm sewing on this side. But I'm gonna put it on the other side actually, so you can see. All right, so I'm gonna come here and come to the end here. All right, so one side is done. Again, like I said, it's a detached zipper, so you're not gonna see any additional closure to the back than the zipper itself. So this part is done, it's just to do the other part now. So I'm going to do the other part on this side so you could actually see a little bit clearer on this side of the presser foot. It's going to be a little bit awkward for me doing it on that side, but I'll try. Oh, well, where so yeah, I'm just trying to see if I could do it here so you guys can see. It's awkward for me because I'm right-handed, so we'll see, there we go. All right, and then the way I pin the zipper, I pin the zipper so I can pull it out the opposite way, but all right, I just want to see, make you guys see. So you see the edge of my press foot is on the edge of my zipper here, right? And I'm going to nicely take up my pin. So now I'm going to do my back stitch, okay? And I'm going to take my time and sew it down. So this is my guide here. That's where my road is, my eyes is. All right. So the question is, what part of the fabric gives maximum stress? Once I complete this, I'll check the answer again, and then we're going to finalize the question. So it's hard for me to sew on this side because of my hand, but it's okay, I'll manage it. Just try to keep yourself on the road. Just keep your eyes on the road. That's pretty much, your road is wherever your guide is. And yeah. All right, there you go. It's a beautiful day outside in Toronto. Well, not Toronto, Brampton, I'm sorry. So wherever you're connecting with us from, whatever you're doing for Thanksgiving today, if you want to share, that would be lovely. I would be grateful. So Marcel, what are you doing in Grenada today? Is it rainy? Is it hot? The last time I was in Grenada, it was combination of a lot of rain. When the rain fall, it was so nice on the housetop. Oh my goodness, it sounds so beautiful on the housetop when it rains. Compared to here, you don't even hear that. You don't hear nothing, or you just get wet, something like that. All right, almost to my end here. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to just bring the head of this up, even though I don't have to because of the way the foot is, but I'm going to do it anyway. And then we're going to close nicely here. So I took out all the pins here. Have my eyes on my road or my guide, and I come to the end, and I'm done. Then we will see moment of truth. And my zipper is back for my top. My skirt is a wrap skirt actually, so it's a very easy skirt. Just waiting for the top so I could iron it. And I have this like for forever. Trust me, this is have been for so long. I have this. I just don't want to get rid of it at this point, because it's still fitting me, and it's a wrap skirt. So the wrap skirt I don't have to do much alteration and just put it on. It's really the top just to make alteration if I need to. Okay, so it's hot in Grenada. Yeah, I could imagine. When I was there, it was so hot, it was sweating. All right, so thank you so much for those who joining me on Instagram, the peas, and everyone else. Thank you for joining me. So for the question, I think someone answered. So Lisa said the bias, and Marcel said the crosswise. So the answer is Chiching, the bias. So thanks for the answer, Marcel. So Marcel, crosswise grain, you'll get stretch. That's a great answer as well. But if you want maximum, so that was the word maximum stretch, is the bias itself. And I think you know that because you do have a lot of knowledge in sewing. So maximum stretch is the bias, but if you want some stretch, is the crosswise. But if you don't want any stretch, is the lengthwise. Okay, so very good answer. Very good answers actually. So if you want less stretch, go crosswise. If you want more stretch, go bias. If you want no stretch, you definitely want to go on the grain line itself. All right, good stuff, guys. Okay, I'm trying to get, so plain seam I usually pressed. Okay, I won't go there because I does actually not follow any rules for that one. All right, so this is some pressing question here. I don't really follow any rules much when you press. I just say press this way or press that way. Okay, so I'm just actually trying. So which the best method of use when transferring pattern symbol to a thick furry fabric should be. You know what? I'm gonna leave that. Um, yeah, I'm gonna leave that. Anyway, I'm gonna ask this question anyway. In general, vertical dart. Okay, we're gonna leave that. We're gonna leave that. We're gonna leave that. Actually, I should prepare my question before because I was just in a rush. That's what I am doing. I like to just do things last minute. I think that's my problem here. So, okay, let me ask a question here. It might be a little bit complicated, but I think you could just give it a try. Which of the following garment area must be understitched? So I'm gonna go back with understitch again. You're welcome, darling. You're so very welcome. So which of the following garments should be understitched? Is it the collar, the waistline seam? So think about it. Some of you guys know how to sew. So the collar, the waistline seam, or the placket opening. Which of the following garment area must be understitched? Think about it. Collar. Think about your collar. Or think about the collar of a man's shirt or a woman's shirt, whatever. Is it understitched? Yes or no? Think about the waistline seam. Do you have to understitch a waistline seam? Yes or no? Think about your placket, the short placket. Is it a must to understitch, understitch, sorry, the placket? So I know understitch was a little bit tough, but just try and answer. Which of the following garment area must be understitched? Is it the collar? Is it the waistline seam, or is it the placket? Remember I talk about understitch to make sure that the garments stay on the inside. That's the purpose of the understitching. So if anyone could just try and see which is the answer, that would be fabulous. All right, guys, so moment of truth. Let me just zip this up nicely and see. And just give it a try. Is it the seam line? Sorry, the collar must be under stitching, the waistline seam, or the placket. So they know placket like the opening of a shirt. The man's shirt here, when you open the button, right? That's the shirt placket. The collar, of course, and then the waistline, like your waist, when you make a waistband, right? Yeah. When you do like a half an inch seam allowance, whatever. Do you think that it needs to be under stitching? What do you think is the answer there? Okay, so let's attach my zipper. So, like I said, it's gonna be cold. So this, what happened? What happened, Zaini? It's over here. I have it actually. It's over there. Mommy have it right there. It's right there. I'll be charging over there. Okay, I am all set. See how easy it is? You have a machine. You don't have to listen. Alteration could be. I think there's a guy who stopped me downstairs in the basement. Oh, you know what? There's a girl actually who know how to do alteration in my community here. And if any of you guys, any of my students, I'm doing a live, okay? If any of my students do on the stitch, sorry, do alteration and you want me to promote you, I can definitely do. Maybe show me email, whatever. But I have a lady, she came to me. She came to me and she said, if anyone want, I'm doing a live. I'm doing a live. And anyone want to do alteration, come to me. So someone came to me and I say, you know what? Oh, I want to put a loop in my pants. And it's a gentleman, right? So for me, it might be simple, but for the gentleman, of course, he need alteration done, right? And then I was able to promote her, of course. And then she messaged me on WhatsApp and said, thank you. And then any other business, you know, she'll be happy for that. So I don't do all, I do not, like I mentioned, I do not do alteration. But again, I could always refer, if you do alteration, I could always refer you with yourself in general. All right, so my zipper is done. So my button, my thing is done. So the collar must be on the stitching. Thank you for that answer, my honey. Anyone else want to try? So which area of your garment must be under stitch? Your collar, waistline seam, placket opening. So this is done. So I'm happy. So right now I have, how many alterations I did so far? 3. How long it was? So it was about an hour and something, about an hour, right? Because I came on about 10, I came on about an hour ago. So 3 in 1 hour. And I have a lot of clothes in front of me to do alteration. So what I'm going to do, guys, right now, I'm going to actually do a take-in. I think I have one of my skirts here that has a zipper, and it just needs to be taken in. Yeah. So this one here, actually, I'll take it in. So I'll just actually, yeah, I'll just take it in. So what I did, I had actually a band here, and I pulled it out because I actually wanted for one of my top. I have a top here, and the top actually is too big for me, and I don't want to do anything. I just want to put a band in it. I'm going to probably do alteration on the shoulder, but I realized this is the same color. This is a different top. Some of you guys see me with that top already. And I'm just going to open the sides and put a band. So when I make it on my waist, then it's a little bit slimmer on the waistline. So I'm going to put the band after. But this year I take out, there was a band in the skirt. This is a circle skirt. I took out the band. And then the skirt is way too big for me. So I'm going to just take in on the waistline itself. If I know the bottom is going to be really big, because based on my side, it's really big. But for now, I'm just going to take in. Thank you so much for joining me. For those who joining me on Instagram. For now, I'm just going to take in on the sides. So how I'm going to do this. So most likely, I would measure myself. Let me see. I'm not going to say what is my waist measurement. I'm not going to say what's my waist measurement. But I'm going to go according to my waist measurement and then do an adjustment. So let's say your waist measurement is 20 and the skirt is 25, right? And again, you remember with your skirt itself, you want to make sure it's tailored on your waist itself, right? So if your waist is 20, you pretty much want the skirt waist to be 20. You don't want it to be 21, 22 because you're going to fall down on you. So I'm going to just measure here to see how much I have here. And then I am going to take in what I need. All right, so I think I'll take in 1, 2, 3, 4 inches. So I'm just taking for it to fit me nicely. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this on the wrong side. I'll put it on the wrong side. So what are we doing? We're just doing clothing alteration and answering some questions as we go along. So the question I had here is, which side of your garment need to be understitched? So I did get an answer. I'm going to say, drum roll, please. Yes, that's the answer, Marcel. So your collar must be understitched. And your answer is so beautiful. The collar must be understitched. And that is your final answer. And that's the answer. So thank you so much for that answer there. Really appreciate it. All right. So basically, when you have your collar, you have to understitch. And the reason why you understitch the collar, so it could stay nicely. So the part of the garment doesn't roll over. If you look at your collar, you look at your, your shirt collar, whatever, you will see there is a row of stitching there. If you just look around the collar, you will see some kind of stitch somewhere. That would be the understitching. There's also top stitch as well to do around the collar, but we look at the understitch and you'll be just fine. All right, so I'm going to go in 2 inches in. So I'm going to only go in from the skirt itself. So this, because I need 2 inches, I'm going to take 1 inch on each side. So I'm in 1 inch on this side and 1 inch on the other side, right? And I'm going to make 2 inches for this side. Same thing I will do on the other side. So I'm going to come right to the seam itself, and I'm going to make sure you have 1 inch on this side and 1 inch on the other side. And then I'm going to sew it down nicely, okay? Now, the only thing is that I'm going to sew it down to make sure it comes to the seam here, so no one would see it. So I'm going to only take the 2 inches from the top, okay? The 2 inches from the top of the waist itself, and I'm going to come down like a triangle shape down to the seam allowance here. That's how I would do it. Everyone have their own method of doing it, but then this is how I would do it. So I'm gonna just pin here 1 inch on this side, 1 inch on the other side, right? This is what I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna pin it right here, so you can see here, right? And then I'm gonna sew a triangle from here, because if I don't sew a triangle, I would have a big pleat on the side, and I don't want a pleat on the side. So I'm gonna sew up a triangle, and we're gonna bring it down nice. I'm gonna show you how it would look on the outside. If I show you the wrong way to do it, then I don't know when I'm gonna take it out. So I'm just gonna show you the right way to do it, and then hopefully that would work nicely for everyone. Okay, so 4 inches I need to take out on both sides. So 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, and that's fine. So I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna stop right in that area here. That's where my seam allowance here, and I would come up for my 1 inch here, right? That's what I'm gonna do. So let me go ahead and do that right now. It's like you're sewing a dart. So when you sew a dart, you sew from the top to the bottom. The bottom is very thin. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do here to get my 1 inch, to get my 2 inch seam allowance on each side. Because I want 2 inch on each side, right? That's what I'm gonna do here right now. So I'm gonna come here. Oh my goodness, my thread is off. Nothing surprised me. Thank you so much for joining me. For those who joined me on Instagram, I really appreciate you joining me today. Happy Thanksgiving. And by the grace of God, I pray that you have a wonderful, lovely Thanksgiving for all those who are joining me itself today. And all those who are watching the replay, I pray that you have a wonderful day as well. Okay, so I am going to continue with this here. I need my scissors to cut nicely. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's hope I get this easy peasy. Sometimes it comes nice and easy, sometimes again it's very heavy. There you go. All right. So let's do it. Let's go ahead and sew this down. So 1 inch at the very top, right? Gotta be careful with this, it's just too fast for me. Okay, so I'm gonna just sew a nice, I think the way I sit down. So let me just go nicely. Come on, come on, come on. Don't pop down and let me sit here. Come on, let's go. Okay. Okay. Alright, so this was my back stitch now. So do your back stitch in the beginning and the end. Let me see if I did it as how I want it on the outside. So I just want to show you on the inside itself. So eventually, like that extra piece here, you could go ahead and trim it out if you need to. So this is how it is. So this is how you're gonna do it here. So you wouldn't have that extra poka. All we have to do is just iron it out. If I was to do 2 inches here, guys, if I was to do 2 inches here and 2 inches here, then I would have a big pleat, and you don't want that, right? The goal is that you want the top here to fit nicely, except you're gonna sew the whole side seam down. You could do that as well. This is just like a cheat sheet to actually do it and still get the skirt to fit on the waist. Well, thank you so much for joining me. For those who are joining me on Instagram, really appreciate you joining me today. We are just doing some life alteration. Here is Thanksgiving in Canada today, so it's a holiday. Usually I have my sewing class today, and no sewing class today, so I decided to come on live. So basically, this is the alteration. This is just a cheat sheet, guys. So if you want to do it like this, I want to take in 4 inches, of course, 1 inch on this side, 1 inch on this side, right? So I do a 1 inch seam allowance right down. Now, as I'm doing this here now, I also go ahead and make sure I come to the seam allowance to the end of my waistband, right? I could also do a full seam at 2 inches down, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to just cheat on this side. Now, once I do this, I could go ahead and trim out this if I want to, or I could just go ahead and, yeah, trim it out will be the best thing if you want to. I'm going to leave it like that. I'm going to do the other side. And the other side now, I'm going to start from the bottom again and come up 1 inch at the top. So it's something like I'm doing a dart, which I'm not doing a dart, but it's like sewing a dart for those who have done darts in my class, or those who have done darts in general. It's like sewing a dart, because you just want to make sure that you get your waist to fit, and your waist will fit. It will definitely fit. The top of your waist will fit nicely. Okay. So again, I'm doing the same thing on the other side. and then I'm just gonna come down nicely here, and I'm done right here. Good. Backstitch in the beginning, backstitch in the end, and I'm done. So again, when I look on the outer the clean side, I don't have any pleats. So that one actually have to fix it properly again. It have a little lumping here. But let me show you the other side again. So you see, all you have to do is iron it down and you'll be fine. Iron it down and you'll be fine. Okay, thank you thank you so much for the wave, guys. All right, so you see now I have my alteration down, so I was able to slim this down. There's two methods, so this is like the cheat sheet method itself, guys, or you could go ahead and sew the whole thing down on the side. Like take out 2 inches down. I wouldn't do that. I just do this part and I am good to go. So we did 3 types of alteration today, or 4 types. Well, we do zipper. I did two ways of doing the zipper. So this was the last one I did, right? Also do the my bag. So my bag strap was a little bit my bag strap was off, so I put a strap. I fixed the strap on my bag strap away my bag itself in general because I just love the print. And you can see I love print in general anyway. I did my zipper, right? My detached zipper. So my whole detached zipper is my whole seam allowance there. And I did my nursing skirt here. So this is my nursing skirt here that I put the zipper in. I would have to do some alteration on the sides. I'm not gonna do it on live, but I would have to do alteration. So we did the zipper. So the zipper, it's not actually coordinating with the skirt that well, but you know what? I'm fine. It's mine. I could work with that. That's all good. So I have another one to do like this on the side. I would have to open it to put the band on the side here. I probably could do it itself, but I would do, this will be my last, and then I would go ahead and wrap today, because I wanted to do something I haven't done live for a while. I haven't done garment for a while. All right, so I'll ask this last question. If you don't know the answer, just try anyway. So the last question was, which of the following garment piece should be clean finished? Clean finished. Actually, I'm going to give you guys a hint, because this is another alteration I have to do. I may not do it live, because I have to add something else. Because apparently I make this fabulous outfit, but the neck was a bit too high. And again, I lost a lot of weight, right? So this is my neckline here, right? This is my neckline here. So that's a hint I'm giving you guys. You can see here, right? There's no way I could weigh that like that, right? There's just no way. So the question is, which of the following garment piece should be clean finish? Is it the sleeve placket, right? The neckline seam, or the facing? So clean finish. Which of the following piece should be clean finish? So think about it here. What do I have to put here? Right? What do I have to put here in order to make it, well, clean finish? If I'm asking the question right. So which of the following garments should be clean finish? The facing, right? The neckline seam, or the sleeve placket? Technically, everyone have to be clean finish, to be honest with you. But what I'm actually trying to look for, but just give the answer actually. The facing, because you have to clean, for instance, with this neckline here, now I have to put facing, or I have to put a bind in, for instance. So I want this neckline to be clean finish, right? So I would say I could put a facing here, or it could also be the neckline seam, because it could be a little tricky question. The neckline itself, I need to make sure it's clean finish here, because of course I cannot wear that like that, right? And then the facing is what I would use in order to clean it, to clean the neckline nicely. So the question could be kind of tricky, depends on how you look at it. The facing itself, you attach it to the neckline to clean finish. The neckline seam itself, so that would be, you want to make sure that the neckline seam is clean finish as well. So that could be a complicated question there. But again, this is my neckline here, and I want to make sure I put a facing to make sure the neckline is clean finish. Put it like that. All right, so the stitch, no, we're not gonna do that. In which of the following area of garment there is no easing? So even though you don't know what is easing, I'm gonna explain. Easing is when you need additional room for your garment. Like for instance, if my boss is 30, right? My boss is 30, I cannot cut the garment 30, because I'll be putting myself in headache, right? Because my boss line is 30, I cut 30, then how would I wear the garment? Am I gonna just manage myself in the garment, right? So that's where easing come in. You have easing and you have seam allowance. So that's pretty much what I teach in my advanced classes for For my beginner class, you have to know seam, at least seam allowance. I'll say, look, half an inch seam allowance, whatever seam allowance, and then the press foot. But when you go upscale sewing now, you want to make sure you have easing. And a lot of people has asked me a question about easing for some of those who take my classes. And what is easing? What is the purpose of easing? So easing to give yourself additional room in order to wear nicely. My bust line is 30. I cannot cut the garment 30. I must have at least 2-inch easing. Or some people want their clothes bigger, 3-inch easing. Or some people don't want their clothes too big. They may have 1.5-inch easing. So that's the purpose of the easing, to ensure that you have enough room on the garment to wear nicely. So the question is, on which of the following areas of the garment there is no easing? The waist seam, the underarm portion of the armhole, or the pocket opening? I think I had mentioned that answer earlier. So think about it. Your waist. You remember your waist is 30. Do you want any additional for the waist? Right? Do you want to have easing for the waist? Thank you so much for joining me, for those who join me on Instagram. The underarm portion of your armhole seam. Do you want additional for your underarm, or do you want that sleeve to fit you like taut, like right there? Or your short pocket. Do you want it to be like right here, really, really, really tight, or do you want any additional itself? So which of the following area of the garment there is no easing? No easing. That's supposed to be a question that you could at least try. Okay? And then we'll wrap up itself. So no easing itself. So what I'm going to be doing here, this is the last thing I'm going to be doing. I'm supposed to have my seam ripper. Let's hope it's working nicely. I'm just going to add a band to my thing. That's the only thing here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually open in the seams on the side here. So this is my garment here, right? And I'm going to put in a band on the side, right? I'm putting a band on the side. So for the question, guys, for those who just try, if you don't know, that's okay, right? So for those who still watching me live, which of the following area of the garment there is no easy waistline seam? Do you need additional for the waistline to fit your taut? On the arm portion of the armhole, do you want your armhole to fit you really, really taut, or you want some space there? Or your placket opening, so your short placket here, do you want it to fit like really, really tight, or do you want some space here? So which one has no easing? You don't have to have no easing at all. So I'm waiting for the answer. If you could just give it a try, that would be fabulous. So I'm just going to open here, just by side seam here. So I could open it from the inside, but the inside I think I have an additional seam there. So I'm going to open on the side here if I can. If I cannot, then I could just make another additional alteration here. I could actually just fold it in twice and just tuck it in on the side, which would be fine as well. So that would be like how you call it again? French seam. I could do just a simple French seam on the side here. Kind of like a French seam, let's put it like that. So bring it here and I bring it back and I just tuck it on the side here. I think that should be fine. I'm gonna do that. So what I've done here, so there's always ways you could alter. So here the raw edge is showing here, right? I'm just gonna fold it in here, all right? And I'm gonna just fold it down again. Okay, and then I'm going to just sew it down this way, okay? So let me just pin it. I'm going to just pin it in the end. I don't have time to open on the side. You could open on the side, but it's all good. It will work out just fine for me at least. So I'm just going to tuck it on the side because it's going to face towards the back anyway. And the only thing you're going to see a top stitch at the very top, so that's fine. It will be clean anyway. There's no big deal there. So I am going to just pin this down, so enclose the raw edge and close it again, and it would be like a French, not exactly a French seam, but like a French seam if you want to just find a name for it, kind of thing. Yeah. So yeah. So I'm gonna tuck this here, tuck this here. My kids are waiting patiently for me to tuck this here, tuck this here. All right, and so pin it here. So again, for the question here, which of the following area of the garment need no easing? You don't need any easing. So this is what I did here, guys. I just go here. So I just tuck it down so when you look, you don't see anything on both sides here. Just tuck it down nicely, and I'm just gonna sew it down. So I'm gonna just do the other side, and also just make sure that however you have your band, you have it, in a nice tailored way. So that one is okay for me. I'll do the other side, and I'll sew it down. The seam allowance, sorry, the stitch, you will see it. on the side, if you bring the band this way. But when you bring it this way, nobody knows what's going on, to be honest with you. And you'll be fine. So live alteration today with Jaleese at Infinite Modesty Design. We teach sewing classes in Brampton. We offer classes on Mondays and Fridays for now. And we offer classes, we have kids classes, adult classes. We have kids class we start from 8, 7, 8, all depends. Some, because I have a 7 years old and she's a big girl, so all depends. We usually analyze. We could start from 7, all depends, right? So 8 is the standard itself. If you have a 7-year-old and you want to try out the class, that's fine. We could check out the kid as well. We do alteration. Sorry, I apologize. I'm doing alteration in the live. That's all. We do kids classes on Fridays for now because we have kids come and go. The class is ongoing for kids. So once we have like a big batch of kids, we'll continue. We do the Monday class, but for now we do Fridays for kids class at 4:30. If you and a bunch of parents, like if, let's say there's one of you guys and you have a couple of kids and you want to do another class, then we'd have to get another teacher to come on board for the Friday class at a different time. No problem, but just let me know. But it'd have to be like more than 2 kids itself to take on the Friday class at a different time. Okay, so this is what I do here, right? Just kind of do the alteration here. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you joining me. So last question I have for the day. Hey, Miss D, what's going on, girl? So the waistline, because it has to fit perfect. So that was Miss D answer. Thank you so much for joining me. So the question I have here, guys. So thank you so much for joining me on YouTube. I don't know my YouTube, my thing. I can't even see what's going on there. So the question is that in which of the following area of the garment there is no ease in the waist seam, on the arm portion of the armhole, or the placket opening? To explain, do you need extra seam? Do you need extra space on your waist? Just asking the question here. Do you need your armhole itself to fit you taut, like really really taut, no movement? Do you need your sleeve placket to fit your taut? So which one does not need any easing? That's the question here. So thank you, Miss D, for that question, for the answer. But we're still looking for other answers to see if that one is right. All right, so we're just gonna see. So if anyone have any other answer or the same answer, just pop it out. Thank you so much for joining me, Miss D. Long time I haven't connected with you. We are back live. We're gonna be doing the event. I was supposed to do the event in September, but because September and it was really really tight for me. So most likely I'll do the event in November. I'll give you a heads up because of course you guys are gonna be part of the event by the grace of God. I know Sister Angie, she wasn't able to, there were certain things that, we discussed. So Angie, we're gonna have the event in November, so I'll be more free then. October will be very tight for me. I have so much to do in October. So the event, usually we have a yearly event. I'll be putting out posts for the event. For those who wanna join the event is 100% free. We will be making an infinity scarf, live free infinity scarf for our sewing event in Brampton, Ontario, 85 Charlotte Boulevard. The event is coming out in November by the grace of God, and I need a lot of volunteers. So if you know you could sew, if you have students of mine and you want to join the event, let us know. By the grace of God, we could bring you on board to be one of our volunteers. So what you'll be sewing is an infinity scarf. I'll teach you how to sew. It's very simple. And also maybe a pillowcase cushion, and we put fabric stuffing because I have a lot of crops fabric that student could use to stuff. Make a pillow. So you can make a pillowcase cushion or an infinity scarf for those who want to join the event. Absolutely free. We have free refreshment. The timing would be morning to evening, so you could come like 2 hours in the morning. There will be noontime 2 hours and evening 2 hours as well. So I'll put on more information about the event for those who would like to join us live in our sewing event in Brampton, Ontario. Okay, guys, so I'm just gonna sew this down. Just sewing this down nicely. That's all. I'm gonna sew this down really nicely. I hope my thread didn't bust. Okay, now. Something not right. I don't think I see my, yeah. I think I lost my bottom thread. That's what happened. My bottom thread is, oh no, not my bottom thread. My top thread is it on sew. So thank God I didn't take out all the thingy. So anyone have any other answers? So Miss D said the waistline because it has to be fit. It has to fit perfectly. It has to fit. Anyone want to give a try for the answer? What part of your garment does not need easing? And what is easing? Extra room, guys. You have your, for instance, you have your top, your bust is 30. Do you want it to fit exactly 30? Or do you want some room, some space to move around? Right? That's what easing is. It gives you a garment wearing easing so you can move around nicely. So the question we have here now, what part of your garment does not need easing? Is it my waistline? Do I need extra room for my waistline? My placket, my shirt placket here? Do I need extra room, or do I don't need room? I need it to fit tailored, like really, really taut? Or is it my underarm portion? Do I want my underarm to be like really, really taut, or do I need some space to move around? That's the question we have, the last question we have for the day. And I'm gonna see if I can wrap up with this um, this last alteration I have here. Then we're just gonna go over our alteration again and go over maybe our question itself. All right, so almost to the last end here. I'm just putting a band at the very end of my top to make it fit a little bit tailored. It's actually gonna help me big time because I don't have to go in and bring in the waistline again. I just have to pull my strap, pull my straps, and I'm fine. And I would be fine. Okay, let's see this here now. So I'm finished this side. All right. Okay, so always make sure you sew it so you could actually, I hope it fits towards the back, so I'm hoping I did that. If not, I have to do it again. Yeah, I make a boo boo, I do it again. So I'm supposed to do the other side. So this is what I did here, guys. I did it, and I did it on this side. So this is the front side. I don't want it here. I want it to be like this. So I'm supposed to do it this way. You see, when I do it this way, the back side, you don't see anything. So it was my mistake. I just had to take this one out, and I'll redo it again, of course, after the live. But again, you see, when you do it to the back, which I'm going to do the other one to the back, make sure it's done right. Then I'll show you how it's supposed to be. So yeah, this is towards the back. So this is my front here, the front of my blouse. This is the back. So when I sew it nicely, and I bring it like this, no one would even see what's going on. Nobody would even know what's going on. They wouldn't even think of what's going on. There you go. All right. So let me just sew it down here, and we are done. So drum roll itself. So happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Happy Thanksgiving, Donna. Thank you so much, my dog. I appreciate you for joining me for the live today. So we're gonna reveal the answer in a bit. Let me finish this last one here, and we are done with our alteration today. I'll just fix this after itself. All right. So I'm gonna bring this down. Actually, yeah, I'm just gonna bring this down nicely. So the seam would actually be on the outside. One seam down, and we're good to go. So which part of my garment don't need understitching, guys? This is my waistline. Good, done. All right, I am done. Take my machine off, do my trimming, and I will be, I'm over. I'm done. All right, good stuff. Actually, you know what? So this is what it is here, guys. So you see here. So this is the front of my garment. So when I bring this here, nobody will actually see what's going on. The other one, I did a mistake, which I'm gonna do it after the live. But again, just always check, because I'm doing live, I'm just kind of doing things, whatever, you know. But always check, because when you make a mistake, you don't want to go over and do the mistake again, right? So you see, when I do it this way, because I do it this way, then you would see this pattern. I'm gonna take that all out. All right, but anyway, you got the point. Let me just show you this here. So I have my strap on. So I have my strap on, so the alteration strap I put on. I'll just fix that after the live. So I did my alteration strap. I did my zipper for my skirt here, right? Alteration. I did take in the seam allowance for here. I did my other zipper here, guys, for the back of my top. So it was a long zipper. And then I did my fantastic bag. I changed I shortened I fixed the strap itself so it could fit me nicely. All right, so all done. I'm so grateful. So yes, drum roll please, the waistline, because it has to fit perfect. That answer was on point. and I give God glory for the answer. So thank you so much. This is how Master said the collar must be on the stitch. Exactly, definitely. That's the answer there. And of course, which part of the garment that you need maximum stretch? Lisa mentioned it was the bias, and that was perfect. Master said crosswise. So crosswise, yes, you get some stretch. You get less stretch. You get more stretch on the bias itself. And then for the seam allowance, I asked for most pattern envelope, what seam allowance do you have as a standard? Usually it's 5/8 of an inch for the seam for the pattern envelope. Half an inch is fine as well, but for the pattern, I usually go up with a standard 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. Let me see if I asked any other question. Yes. So when you're doing a gathering a skirt, do you do what do you do if you do if how many rows of stitch do you gather in for to make the gather skirt with a needle? And of course the answer is one with a needle because it's one, right? With a needle. A needle and thread, you just double the thread and you just gather your skirt with a needle and thread. In the machine, you need at least 2 rows of stitch. So some of us say 2 or 3. 3 might be fine as well, but for the standard, you need at least 2 rows of stitch when you are using your gather on your sewing machine. All right. So I just want to thank you guys so very much for joining me today, guys. It was such a pleasure to be on board. I haven't done a live in a long time. When are you gathering? Oh, so no. Let me just see. So happy Thanksgiving, Donna says, and Marcel sent her greeting, and then of course Creation was live, and everyone who was live with me on Instagram, thank you so much. And on YouTube, I cannot see my screen that well, but thank you so very much. I'm grateful because I don't really have much. I have actually 2% watching me live on YouTube, so grateful for that. So this was just a live alteration. I want to do alteration is not hard. If you're doing it for yourself, it could be hard when you're doing it for others itself. You can see I just did what just a couple, what, 1, 2, 3, 4 different items of alteration, and how long it takes me, 5 different items of alteration, and it takes me more than an hour, right? So you have to know your worth. Know your worth when you're doing alteration. Take my class, of course, and once you take my class, beginner, intermediate, advanced, alteration is a breeze, guys. Even though you do the beginner and the intermediate class, which is a dress class or a skirt class, you'll be fine with alteration. But if you go advanced, trust me, alteration will be a breeze. You'll be able to do alteration for people. The only thing is the pricing. Because people might say, okay, you know what, it's just a zipper, it's just this, it's just that. I want to give you hand-me-down on absolutely nothing at all. Um, yeah, hand-me-down, no, you have to have your work. You have to your list, look on Google, look on ChatGPT, what is the average price for blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? So you can know what is your worth and how to charge itself in general. All right, so our beginners class, it's $240 for the class. We have it in Brampton right now on our website. We still have the sale going on. It's 10% off. We are coming out with our sewing event. Sewing event going to be absolutely 100% free for the community itself. We'll have food. We have little activity for the kids itself. That's coming out in November, so the date is yet to be announced. We will send it out by the grace of God. If you're not on my email list, message me. I'll get you on my email list itself. We are looking for volunteers, so if you know how to sew, you have taken my class. We need volunteers to assist the community to make an infinity scarf absolutely free, and or pillowcase cushion just to sew 4 sides and just put some stuff in it itself. Free food will be available. I will announce the date, so stay tuned for the date itself. We have our intermediate class. We have a skirt class with pockets where you can learn how to make a skirt. It's a 5 weeks class. Is $2.99 for that class. We have our dress class. It's $4.99 for the class if you want to learn how to make a dress with a sewing pattern. Skirt with a sewing pattern would be $2.99. And we have our advanced class is about $1,999. That class is the class you have to find yourself in if you really want to learn to sew. Top class itself. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you again for all those who stay on with me. I appreciate it. My name is Jalice. Remember that I love you guys. I love you guys as a human being, but Jesus Christ loves you more because what he created you from ground zero to hero, and he loves you very much. Remember, today is the day of salvation. Have yourself a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving. Thank you so much for sticking on board with me today. Take care, guys. Bye-bye. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you guys so much. I'm trying to hold on, I'm trying to share this on my phone. How do I share this on YouTube now?